morning, sweet world, and welcome to an emergency No Dunks podcast presented by FanDuel. It's Thursday, June 25th, and the NBA refuses to let us chill for one goddamn day. That's all I asked for. 24 hours. They said no. I'm Skeets here in the yard, coming at you live on YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe. I see the stream team popping off. A lot of comments about this trade. People are calling it a lose-lose trade. We'll break it down. But the Charlotte Hornets are trading LaMelo Ball to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let me give you the actual details here as I do a solo dolo podcast for you, a little emergency podcast here on the Thursday. We thought we were taking the day off. No. Here it is. LaMelo Ball going to Minnesota along with Josh Green. In return, the Hornets are getting back Naz Reid. Here's what we have to do, everybody. It's been a running bit for a long time on No Dunks. Drop your Naz Reids in the chat. All caps locks. Well, you know what? I say we drop the caps lock and just lowercase Naz Reids from everybody in the stream team. He's going, again, as I said, to the Hornets with a series of draft picks. In addition to Naz, the Hornets will receive a 2033 unprotected first-round pick and 3 second-round picks in 29, 32, and 33. The teams will also swap 3 first-round picks in 28, 29, and 30. Okay, so a lot of draft capital going to Charlotte, but the main pieces, it's LaMelo Ball to Minnesota, and it's Naz Reid to Charlotte. Oh my God. And this one did feel like it sort of came out of nowhere. Is that's safe to say? As I try and remember how to get rid of this damn thing on the screen here for everyone, we'll just do that. Yeah, this was a bit of a shock, right? Last night, I guess Wednesday night, second round of the NBA draft, late last night, word was breaking that, the Hornets are suddenly fielding aggressive pursuits for LaMelo Ball. Again, sort of out of nowhere. No rationale offered of why Charlotte was possibly taking offers. They had a fantastic second half of their season, really 2/3 of their season after a slow start. LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller, Con Knipple working together nicely there. And then, you know what? They're open for trading LaMelo Ball because, again, this team was awesome from January 1st on of the regular season. They had the top-ranked offense. They had a top 5 defense, massive turnaround, 1 win short of making the actual playoffs and snapping their playoff futility there. But this was good. Everybody's like, wow, vibes are high. LaMelo Ball maybe has matured here. Usage rate has gone down. It's clicking. It's working. And instead, they trade him to Minnesota here. So John Krasinski and Sam Amick of The Athletic, they said last night that the Wolves were in the mix. Again, this was late last night when this article dropped. They were looking to add more offensive creativity, more playmaking to a team that has a hole at the point guard position, or did. Anthony Edwards can play the point. I don't think he wants to. Io, who we'll get into, and they just re-signed, he of course can play a little point, not really a true point guard. Dante DiVincenzo, who is injured, has and can play point as well. But again, none of these guys actual point guards. So they go and get their point guard here in LaMelo Ball. We had reports that not only the Timberwolves were looking at him, but the Raptors were in the LaMelo Ball business. The Blazers I've seen mentioned. I think Shams had them. Everybody was putting their LaMelo Ball trade packages together. I thought tomorrow's podcast, The Drop with Tass in the factory, was going to be us going through LaMelo Ball trade packages, right? I was starting to compile them, seeing what people are saying, doing my own. Would the Rockets want to get LaMelo Ball? We were going to go through them. We were going to grade them. And instead, boom, the Wolves decide, hey, all right, we're in. Now, what's funny is that Stein and Jake Fisher were reporting that, okay, Jaden McDaniels off limits. That makes sense. Okay, we're not trading him. And Minny, they reported, would prefer not to trade Naz Reid or the injured DiVincenzo. And that's why we started seeing hypothetical deals that was like Rudy Gay, maybe Terrence Shannon Jr., and then some draft capital. I don't even think this much I ever saw making its way around in terms of all the swaps and the 1 unprotected pick, and then a bunch of second rounders. So yeah, we thought maybe Rudy, but then you're like, why is the Hornets going to do that? I don't know. That doesn't make sense. They obviously, the Wolves just traded Julius Randle to the Nets to create plenty of cap space. They immediately used that to give Ayo Dosunmu a 5-year, $112 million extension. And it seemed Ayo, Naz Reid taking over for Julius Randle, they're going to take steps up here in their depth chart. They're going to hope that they can sort of level up here. And now Reid is gone. And I mean, how many bigs do the Wolves have? They have Rudy, Berenger. Who do they got? They got Rocco. They got an Aussie named Rocco Zakarski. And Kyle Anderson. Is he like their only power forward? Weird, but Tim Connolly, the Wolves GM, all he does is swing for the fences. Just home run, swings at the plate. This guy's never trying to hit a double, never trying to hit a single. Don't even think about taking a walk. I'm going yard, Rob Deere style. I'm either striking out or going for the home run. And that's what I think he's done here in trying to getting a creative, high volume 3-point shooter and playmaker beside Anthony Edwards. I did think, this was my first thought when this went down. I was like, well, my first thought was like, holy shit, can't a guy shower anymore before a blockbuster trade happens in the NBA? It's where I was when I got out of the shower. Like, no, come on, really? But I thought of what I said to Tass on Wednesday's podcast, this idea of like, if there was one big takeaway maybe from what we saw in the postseason, we always talk about like copycat league and all that. It's this idea, I think, of like, you have a star player, especially a guard. You need another creator and play starter and facilitator. It's like, you have to have like another one. I went through like, we saw what happened with SGA, and that was because of injury with his guys out. And you can just load up on him and it makes it very difficult. I guess we've seen that with Anthony Edwards too, to some extent, this idea where teams just completely run at them. And there's like not a lot of other guys on the rest of the roster that can like create things. The Knicks were an example with Brunson. He's your main guy. And when did they unlock things truly? It's when they started to run more things through Cat and use him as a facilitator. So again, this is what I think the Wolves are thinking here. Probably keep Anthony Edwards happy as long as possible. But still shocking that Randall and now Naz Reid out and LaMelo Ball in here, and it's like they just don't have a lot of size. Like, I'm like, what is their team right now? Starting lineup? Who's their power forward? Unless, because Ayo probably is in a bench role again. I think LaMelo, Ant, Jaden McDaniels as your 3, but are they thinking 4? Is the power forward position dead? Kyle Anderson, I think, is on the Wolves, and then obviously Gobert, unless they're sliding up and Ayo's starting alongside Ant and LaMelo, and then Jaden McDaniels your power forward. Like, obviously a little light in the britches there, but I don't know. And I'm sure they're not done. I also think this is sort of included or a part of the Randall trade to the Nets, that salary cap dump. And that's what I remember when Tass and Trey did the emergency podcast for that. They were like, Trey's like, I can't guard this yet. Or I can't grade this yet because I don't know what the Wolves are doing. Like, if this is it, then this is horrible. But if they use the space they've created, get creative, and obviously get another player or two in here, then it maybe changes his opinion on it. So I can't wait to see what TK thinks about this. He's on a drive home to Chicago right now. But they made a move. So ballsy move. LaMelo Ball had his best year for the Hornets last year. Again, I think there was some maturity to his game. He stayed healthy, a huge part. I mean, this is a big risk here. But why are the Hornets doing this? Let's just talk this through. We can, I guess, assume that Kobe White will be staying in Charlotte and taking over the starting point guard spot. I say I guess we can assume because I think we assumed that Naz Reid was going to be the starting power forward after Julius Randle was shipped out, and he is no longer in Minnesota. So I think it's going to be Kobe White. They do, maybe they super believe in their number 18 pick in Christian Anderson. I think they believe in him. That's why they drafted him, but I can't imagine he'd be starting. So it's probably Kobe White. But man, the messing with what they had working there is fascinating. So a lot of people just think that Charlotte's front office is seeing LaMelo Ball's value at an all-time high, at least over the last couple of seasons, and they are selling high. Now, you can argue with the return, but they're selling high before he starts asking for the extension, because LaMelo Ball has 3 years left on his contract. He's eligible to sign a 2-year, $119 million, $120 million extension July 6th. So maybe this is a get out in front of it. We don't want to deal with that. Even though we, again, had our best season in years here, and I think we liked what we saw with Ball and Miller and Knipple. And they're just selling high. I guess that's the reasoning here. What do you think here in the chat as I give you the little solo dolo emergency podcast? And if you're just joining, hit the like button and subscribe. We will be in the factory tomorrow, me and Tass, obviously breaking this down in greater detail and talking about everything else that happened. Isaiah Stewart traded to the Grizzlies. Can't wait to see what the Pistons do now. Jaylen Brown rumors still exist, and Austin Reeves signing with the Lakers. So there's lots of stuff to get into here on Friday's show. But right now, LaMelo Ball traded to the Wolves. Now, we're not going to hear from the organizations on this for a while. This is going to be one of these ones that is not official until a while. And they're like, basically it's not, I don't think they're allowed to even comment on these sort of moves yet. So it's going to be a while until we sort of get maybe the reasoning from Charlotte's side. Obviously, Tim Connolly, I think it's going to be a little more obvious what he's going to say. We wanted more playmaking. We needed a point guard. We love what we saw from LaMelo, yada, yada, yada. We didn't want to see Naz Reid go. That's coming out there. And again, if those reports were true, Ant wasn't being traded. McDaniels was off limits. And then they didn't want to trade Naz Reid or Dante DiVincenzo. But obviously the Hornets were like, well, we're not doing it unless you do. I can't wait to see how close other teams were. Be it my Raptors, be it the Blazers, be it a couple other teams in the mix here. Man, what else was out there? What were people offering in terms of at least players and then sort of draft capital? It is one pick. It's one pick and then swaps, which are not nothing, but one future 2033 pick. If you're just joining us, I'll just go over it very quickly. Hornets trading star guard LaMelo Ball. I don't know if will he drive there? Let's hope not, right? Jesus. Well, he could. Charlotte to Minnesota, probably a long drive for LaMelo. He can make it in like 4 hours, one stop. So LaMelo Ball and Josh Green. Oh, yeah. Josh Green is here. Traded to the Wolves for Naz Reid and then a series of draft picks, a 2033 unprotected first-round pick, 3 first-round swaps in 28, 29, 30, and then 3 second-round picks in 29, 32, and 33. But call it what it is. It's basically LaMelo Ball for Naz Reid. And a lot of people are here saying, what do you do with your Naz Reid towel that everybody got? Beautiful looking towel. And, in Minnesota colors, will the Hornets PR team just jump on that, just do it themselves? I think you got to. That would look good too, right? The Hornets teal. So Naz Reid there on Charlotte. Crazy. This is crazy. This is one of the more stunning trades, again, in recent NBA history that I can think of. Because it was just last night. We didn't hear anything. Correct me if I'm wrong. We didn't hear a single thing during our watch party for the first night of the draft. Nothing about LaMelo Ball. Maybe some whispers that the Wolves, after the Julius Randle move, obviously, what are they up to? Is this just to save money? Ooh, that's sort of gross if that's the case. Or are they doing something? So maybe there was that, but the LaMelo Ball part of it, what? I didn't, it was just not on my radar that at this point, the Hornets were thinking of trading him until late last night. And then what felt like 10 hours later, boom, he's gone. Like we barely, the Photoshop boys barely had time to do the jersey swaps to get LaMelo Ball in a Raptors jersey, to get LaMelo Ball in a Blazers jersey or a Rockets jersey or wherever you were going to try and trade him. There was barely time to do it. And he was suddenly traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves here on Thursday morning around 9:30 Eastern for me. I walked the dog, had a shower, and then boom, the alerts started going. Crazy stuff. I assume we're not done. The NBA's drunk. The NBA offseason is popping here. So, I'll log off, and then Jaylen Brown will be traded, which I do believe will be happening soon. And then we'll just be back here talking about it. Fun stuff. I got a few seconds here, a few minutes to look at the comments. If you guys, there's a lot of them. Who is the winner? Again, when I jumped on and I was seeing everybody tweet about this, or at least in the comment stream team here, there was a lot of like, what are the Wolves doing? What are the Hornets doing? There was a lot of like perplexed emojis or pondering emojis. Let's call it that. What is this? Naz Reid, man. Can't believe it. Did everybody drop their lowercase Naz Reid earlier? I hope so. You got to do it for Naz. So the Charlotte Hornets get him and LaMelo Ball to the Wolves. I'm a bit in shock here. I took a second to like try and get my thoughts in order, and hopefully some of that made sense. This is Tim Connolly's MO, man. This guy just like, he's like, I'm not afraid to do a big move. Let's go. And it has to be, again, the part of keeping Anthony Edwards, of course, happy. And by doing so, I'm sure there's conversations like, what can we do here to make you happier, to make your life easier? What do you think? And I would guess it's like, I got to have somebody else help me out in terms of facilitating. And when teams load up on me, a threat, look, LaMelo takes a lot of threes and hits them at a decent percentage. That guy is not shy. That guy's taking one-footed three-pointers. So, that's sort of his style, but he is going to let it fly. So, I guess Connolly takes a look at the landscape. Like, all right, who could we get here? Okay, we got to do this Julius thing to get off that. Oh, we don't want to ship out Naz Reid, but look, it's an aggressive move. We'll see if it backfires or not. And again, maybe they're not done because it feels like they need at least some guys that are like wing to power forward-esque, some bigger guys, because McDaniels is like again, he's sort of their power forward right now. Yeah, Kyle Anderson, but wow, what slow-mo got left in the tank here? Terrence Shannon Jr., obviously he's not a big like that. All their talent is like, sort of mellow ant size, sort of down, and then Rudy holding it down the middle, and Beringer, I guess maybe he's ready for his opportunity as sort of a 4-5. Let's go with the French forwards. Who else do they have? What I said, Rocco Zikarsky, Enrique Freeman, is he on the team? Like, I'm like racking my brain here. Julian Phillips, is he on the team? I literally don't know. So Wolves fans, let me know. What do you think? Hornets fans, let me know. Who won this? That's where we're at here. Who won the trade? Or how do you grade it? Or do any of these teams get an incomplete? Wild. Also on tomorrow's show, I'll share my thoughts on my World Cup game that I went to yesterday. Thank God this didn't happen while that was going on. Last night I went to Morocco, Haiti here in Atlanta, and it was electric. Also got lucky as hell. We got an awesome game. 6 goals scored. Haiti had the lead twice. I said to you guys, I didn't know who I was going to be cheering for when I went to the game. Quickly decided I was cheering for Haiti because we were sort of in the Haiti support section. There were a lot of Haiti fans around us, and they're a vibe. And we're talking to them. I hadn't realized like they hadn't even been in the World Cup in like 50 years. I don't think they had ever scored a goal. So like it was awesome. I'll talk about that more on tomorrow's Drop podcast. Otherwise, we'll call it there. LaMelo Ball to Minnesota. I guess two more very minor thoughts. And I saw Josh actually in the stream team say this earlier. Think about the jersey sales that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to have moving forward here. You got Anthony Edwards and now LaMelo Ball, who is one of the more popular players in the league, especially with the younger generation. And you've got new looks. Like you have 3 new jerseys with this sort of throwback to the old ones. I got it up on screen for everybody on YouTube. Got the whites, the blues, the blacks, and you got a little tree trim there. Oh, that's why they made the move. Like, let's just make a bunch of money on merch. Yeah, they're going to sell a lot of those. They are going to sell a lot. Is anybody number 1 on the Wolves? Terrence Shannon Jr., right? Is that right? Uh-oh. I'm going to assume Ball's going to want that, but I don't know. Maybe I'll go with another number. That's also in style right now after Booker did his move. Also changing from number 1. We'll see. There's that. And then my final thought on the whole Wolves thing was, is this galaxy brain thinking of the Wolves organization going, well, okay, yeah. People are going to say, you're adding LaMelo Ball to your team in the Western Conference? Come on, man. That's not going to help you get by the Spurs or Thunder or any of these other talented Western Conference teams. And the Wolves are going, don't worry. We're going to be in the East very soon. After expansion, we're going to the Eastern Conference. LaMelo Ball will be back home in the East, and we'll have Anthony Edwards with him, and we'll be fine. Even though the East is actually awesome now too. I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch, but that's where my mind went. I have a short formulating in my head about how Adam Silver loves tournaments so much, right? Play-in tournament, NBA Cup. He should just create a new one for all the Western Conference teams to battle it out to see who can win the right to go to the Eastern Conference. That's a good idea. That would be fun, right? Just set it up. Whoever, or maybe you can like elect, I would like to be in said tournament to win our way out of this conference to the East. That would be awesome. A little best of 3 series or something like that. Well, home and home, whatever. There you go. Free idea there for you, Silver. I know you love tournaments. Just add one more to the mix. Why not? For the final time, guys. Here it is. I'll get this back up on screen with my arms out to the side, doing Windhorse style. Wolves get LaMelo, Josh Green. Hornets get Naz Reid, a first-round pick in 2033, 3 pick swaps, and 3 second-rounders. I guess that's LaMelo in an old Timberwolves jersey there. A graphic I stole from ESPN. How will he look in those new ones? I'm sure the Photoshop boys are already hard at work. It's going to look incredible. I mean, they were already, you're Anthony Edwards on your team. You're a League Pass team. Add LaMelo Ball. That's going to be entertaining. Whether it works, it's going to be very entertaining. A Ball and Ant backcourt. Holy crap. And man, I don't know. I was having mixed feelings as a Raptors fan when the Raptors were being tied to LaMelo Ball. I was like, on one hand, I don't mind it. I was starting to talk myself into it. Like, I've not been the biggest LaMelo Ball fan in his career. But I was like, maybe I see the vision here. Okay, we need a point guard. We need a shooter. We need a scorer that can hit threes. Then you put it with a bunch of defense maybe in Scotty and CMB. And I was starting to talk myself into it, especially if it was going to be like RJ Barrett, Grady Dick, some draft picks, which the Raptors have all theirs. I was getting there, guys, but I was feeling queasy about it. It was like that pizza from draft night the other night. It was sitting a little funny, but I was excited. Well, so much for that. Raptors back to the drawing board, seeing who else they can get. Maybe they'll go get Jaylen Brown. Probably not. All right, guys, we'll call it there. A little mini emergency podcast for LaMelo Ball going to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Still sounds fake when I said it like that, but I guess it's true. We'll see you tomorrow. Hit the like button, subscribe, 5-star ratings and reviews, and we are in the factory to break this down and all the other NBA news, and I'm sure 3 other trades that happen between now and tomorrow morning at 10. Thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. Good to see the numbers here. Play your part by hitting all the things you need to hit, and we'll see you soon. Peace.